got Josh Todd here at Buckcherry. Spoke to Josh a couple of years ago, I believe. Josh, you guys are playing in Sumish with Pop Evil at Kuwait. And you remember that? Well, obviously you remember the show, but yeah, it was a great show. You know what? When I went into that interview, I thought you guys would have been a headliner, and I wish you would have been, but you know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Pop Evil is a great band as well, so that's it's all good. So we'll get into Warpaint in a second here, Josh. Or excuse me, not Warpaint, Hellbound. I keep thinking Warpaint because you guys are supposed to be in the Sioux, Ontario. A couple times you got pushed back, but so now you got Hellbound out. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go with that. We can circle back to the other stuff I want to ask you. Who's in the lineup for Hellbound right now?
You don't know who's in the lineup?
I do, but some of the viewers might not know. They're living under.
There's only one new person, Billy Rowe.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's all good. I mean, I know the background, but I mean, some of the viewers might not know. So we understand that you are very interested. Well, and I spoke with you a couple of years ago. Minor Threat was one of your influences. So from what I'm gathering is you're interested in fronting them in a reunion. Is that correct?
No, I never said anything about that. I don't know why that's all over the internet.
It is all over the internet, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
No.
Well,
no, I mean, I said I love Minor Threat. I wish they would go out and do shows. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And if Ian wasn't interested in doing shows with Minor Threat, I would do shows with Minor Threat. That's how much I love them. That's all I said. I didn't say I'm doing a Minor Threat reunion or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the shitty thing about the internet and headlines and fake news. People, they run with it. And, I apologize. I was in that boat. I only have so much time to prep for some of these interviews. I know everything about Buckcherry and Josh Todd, and there's some things that I only can get piecemeal, and that was one of them. So, yeah, I apologize. So it looks like your show's been canceled. I guess you would have been in Michigan today playing in Detroit. How are the guys in the band? Are they pretty healthy right now? They're just quarantining and that sort of thing?
Oh yeah, everybody's good. Everybody's tested negative since there's just two guys. Stevie and Francis.
Yeah. Okay. So when will you guys pick up and go back on the road? Do you have your first show date specified, or are you guys waiting?
Yeah, we go back on the 29th. First show is on the 30th.
Okay, perfect. And then you'll be rounding out into Canada, part of that tour, and coming into Sioux, Ontario at Blaster. Looking forward to that show. When was the last time you were up touring in Canada, Josh?
Oh, had it been on Warpaint, I think we got up there, I want to say. Maybe 2019. I'm not positive, though. Right.
So the fans are obviously looking forward to that. Hellbound is the new release. So what are you guys going to be doing since the Warpaint extensive tour to support that was kind of kiboshed? Are you guys going to be doing a set list, combining the two with some of your obvious hits the fans want to hear, or how's that working out?
Well, as you know, we have an amazing new record that just dropped. It's called Hellbound. So it's our 9th record, and we're out there promoting this record. It's really, really good. If your viewers don't have it, they should go get it. And we'll be doing songs off every record, but all the usual suspects, of course, plus some songs off all of our records. It becomes kind of hard, actually, because there's so many songs.
Over the couple of years that I've been really invested more into Buckcherry, I'm telling people that I come across, I tell them how much more you guys are than Lit Up and Crazy Bitch. A lot of people were stereotyping you guys, unfortunately. And one of the songs I bring to their attention is like Radio Song, one of my favorite songs. And even the Greta Wilson tribute, or excuse me, I don't even know what I'm thinking here. But that song you did with Gretchen Wilson was just amazing. Is there any kind of about? Yeah, no worries. I mean, I call it as it is. Do you find that as well, Josh, that some people kind of stereotype you for those two big, supermassive worldwide hits back in the late 80s and early 90s and think that's all you're about? Because when I came across a lot of your music, I'm like, wow, these guys are deep. And I know you're the primary singer-songwriter, but I don't think a lot of people actually out there, or some of them, don't really realize how good of a songwriter you are, and you write ballads.
Yeah, no, I mean, the ballads have always gotten lots of attention. We had a hit ballad on our first record with For the Movies.
Oh
You know, we
yeah,
had we
every
had Sorry, which
yeah.
Sorry almost sold as many singles as Crazy Bitch, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't think about that at all. I don't really I don't read any comments from people because positive or negative. I just
Yeah.
continue to move forward and do me, you
Yeah.
know. I that's the reason I got into this, you know, because I'm passionate about music, you know, and I'm always gonna continue to write music, record music, and put my lyrics and melodies together in a way that I feel like you know, people can relate to it and have a good experience. And that's all it's about, you know. Like, there's always going to be haters, there's always going to be people who love you, you know, there's always going to be people who say you're this or you're that, and you know, you got to just stay away from all that.
Well, I mean, I've learned that as well, to be honest with you. I remember we talked a couple of years ago. We talked about alcoholism because I've told you that I'm an alcoholic and I have my struggles, but you're very open, and I found that refreshing that you were able to talk candidly about that. And I'm sure that you've helped a lot of people over the years indirectly.
Are you still drinking and using?
No, well, I'm not today, and I haven't been recently, and I've never used, to be honest.
Let's go. Good
Yeah,
job, man. That's
well, I
awesome.
appreciate it. And I remember telling somebody about one thing that you said to me that solidified that you weren't bullshitting, because some of these people will use the word ironclad in the big book. And to me, it's like that was a aha moment. He's not just saying this shit. You actually do the research. And I know that you go to meetings when you're on the road, if you can. You've been doing Zoomers. You know what? What would you like to say to some of your fans that are struggling, and not as a answer, but maybe a direction?
Yeah, if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic, you know, your disease is either an asset or a liability, you know. So you get to choose. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah,
gonna pick up that, you know, alls I know is that for me, you know, I can't drink normally like a normal human being, you know. I have a disease, and once I start, I can't stop, you know. So I had to stop.
yeah,
And I came to the crossroads in my life, and I wanted it to be an asset in my life, not a liability. So I work, you know, you got to work hard at it because you know what you're going to get when you drink and use drugs. You know exactly the outcome you're going to get, you know what it's going to bring to your life. And you know, the other side of it is the unknown is, you know, when you're sober, you have to really kind of fill that hole that you were filling with drugs and alcohol with a spiritual program.
right,
You know, a spiritual solution is the cure for drug and alcohol addiction. And then how do you do that? Well, you know, there's these great steps in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that
right,
show you how to do that. And it's for fun and for free. And you know, you can have an amazing life, but you got to do the work.
right. Appreciate that, Josh, and I'm sure the viewers in that boat and are questioning their lives right now will appreciate it. I can't believe the phlebotomy thing I read, and let's hope that this isn't another rumor, but I think it's actually true. You're a certified phlebotomist, is that correct?
I am, yeah.
Explain to people who A, can't spell that, which I mean I would have a little trouble, and B, are not don't know what that is. It's amazing.
It's just a guy who draws blood, you know, from people, uh, and puts it in little vials, you know. That's all it is. But you know, it is interesting to me. Don't ask me how I got interested in it. I was just getting blood at a blood bank or
Yeah,
giving blood.
yeah.
I go to this place called Quest Diagnostics in the States. That's
Mhm.
where I always give blood. I always go to the blood banks because they have phlebotomists there, and they are the best at taking blood because they're doing it all day, you know. So
Yeah.
it's very little pain, and it just became interesting to me. And this big, like, tall, tattooed dude came in and took my blood one day, and I didn't even feel it. I just started becoming interested in the whole process
Mhm.
and would talk to him about it. I like really stuff. I get interested in things that aren't on the beat, you know, off the beaten path of
Yeah.
music, because I've done music my whole life. So I like learning new skills and stuff. And And yeah, so I became interested in it, and then didn't think really much of it. And then COVID hit, and I wanted to learn a new trade. I had all this time and I was going bananas, and idle time is not good for me, you know.
Yeah.
I had already made a new record and I just kept sitting around. And so I went to phlebotomy school for a couple weeks, and then I studied for the national exam,
Right.
and then I worked. I served in my community 4 months in downtown LA. I worked at a COVID clinic, you know, and at the peak of COVID, you know, in December of 2020, that's when I started there. So uh, it was awesome. You know,
Yeah.
when my father was alive, he was going to college when he was a young man, and Vietnam hit, and he uh, he just went. He went into the army because he wanted to serve his country, and you know, he didn't get drafted. He didn't have to go, and I always like admired him for that. You know, I thought that was like noble and brave of him, and
Right.
so I wanted to do something, you know, to serve my community because I had the time,
Yeah.
and that was like a good way for me to do it.
Well, that's awesome to hear, Josh. I mean, COVID has changed people in so many ways. I mean, it's been destructive in a lot, collateral damage. But I mean, is there anything? I'm kind of reading you pretty good, but I mean, is there anything in particular that sticks out that you know that if COVID hadn't hit, you wouldn't have adjusted a certain thing in your life, positive or negative? Has it brought out anything in particular?
Yeah, I learned a lot about myself. You know, I learned a lot about everything because I'd been on the road all the time. So to spend a lot of time with in my home, you
Mhm.
know, day in and day out I was not used to it. It was
Right.
a struggle at times.
Mhm.
Had to address a lot of stuff in my marriage.
Yeah.
Had to address just being with my kids 24/7. They were out of school the whole time. It was really challenging for my wife and I, just in that regard as well. Just a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
The whole financial hit that we took from having a whole tour book to having it completely removed.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money, you know, a lot of stuff, and so all those are really challenging. I had to really kind of go back to the basics, you know, and that is whenever things get intense for me in my life, I just know that what am I doing with my spiritual program, you know, because as long as I put a God of my understanding first
Hmm.
and I put my program first, you know, my sobriety and everything,
Yeah.
then everything else in my life works out. So I
Falls
had to
into
go back
place.
to the basics, you know,
That's great.
working with others, working with others, you know, prayer and meditation, you know, thinking of other people other than myself, doing things that weren't self-involved.
Right. Well, that's great to hear. I was just talking to Ron Thal actually about an hour ago, and he's mentioned that you know what the COVID experience has taught him that you know what he's going to be touring less. That's his own thing that he's doing, and he said because being at home, he's realized how much more there is to life than you know the music. Because he used to come home and not unpack his luggage. He'd go to the dentist and he'd
Yeah.
visit for a bit and he'd go back out.
Yep.
So he's
Yeah.
it's changing that way. So it's good to hear that things are going great for you. I won't keep you very long. I know it's only 10 in the morning. You're in Cali right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you know what, Josh, we're looking forward to see you here in Sault Ste. Marie at Blaster. That's October 19th. Be great to
Let's get it.
finally meet you. Yeah, man. And Hellbound is awesome. I mean, Tim sent that to me, and that is great. Warpaint was great, and all your stuff is good. I mean, I'm not gushing here because I already got the interview, so I don't need to say shit that's not true. Yeah,
No, no, man. I really appreciate that. You know, I mean, that's why we do this because you know, we labor and work really hard on the songwriting so that we can get that kind of reaction
yeah,
from the public. That's like the icing on the cake for us. So I really appreciate it.
not a problem. Yeah, so until we see you in October, man, all the best to you and your family, and thanks a lot.
You as well.
Cheers.
Stay healthy, man. Be good.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks, Josh.